Hello and welcome to the Elliot Omenson Show. It is, what day is it today? It is January 8th, Thursday. And I'm going to weigh in on a topic that everybody seems to be a little bit up in arms about at the moment. Mostly just because I actually think that I can add something that has not been discussed yet. Okay. I've watched a lot of people take one side or the other, the side of law enforcement or the side of Renée Good, 37-year-old mother of three. And I think people are missing a much more important point. Okay. And so first off, anybody that's watched anything I publish or knows me knows I'm pretty much a far-right extremist. I voted for Donald Trump 3 times, and I'm absolutely 100% on board behind law enforcement, behind what we're doing with immigration, and all of it. But I do have some overarching principles. And one is that my ultimate overarching principle is the right of the individual. I believe that the individual is the most at-risk minority in the world. Everything I think and do is predicated off of that concept. Okay? Because of this, I'm 100% against the death penalty. I don't believe that once prosecution enters into the government's hands, you can be assured of a just outcome. And so to err on the side of not accidentally taking someone's life, I don't think the death penalty should exist. This is also why I'm against abortion. I don't know at what point human life is human life. Every argument I hear to validate abortion fails at some point, whether it's the viability argument, which steadily, progressively gets earlier and earlier, or any of the other reasons. And so again, to err on the side of not taking human life, I'm against abortion. I don't really want to live in a country where crime can't be committed. It's not to say I don't want to live in a crime-free country. I just don't want to live in a country where the law enforcement apparatus is so extensive and pervasive that crime cannot be committed. Again, this goes back to me believing in the rights of the individual. So I'm also against the militarization of police. What's the point of posi comitatus and having a rule against the military being able to operate inside the United States if the military are indistinguishable from the police? Now, when you watch what happened to this woman, it makes absolutely no sense to me that a cop would have stood in front of her vehicle. When I see protesters standing in front of vehicles and they get run over, I just laugh my ass off. Like, you're fucking stupid. And you're going to get run over. If the police were trying to detain her and she was going to drive her car off, he didn't need to be standing in front of her, and they didn't need to actually detain her at that point in time. I would love to hear the argument. Let me just put it this way. Right now, I don't know why they would have, right? I'm sure there's more information that's going to come out. I can't imagine a need to try and detain that woman. You let her go, and you go arrest her later. By standing in front of the car, you're purposefully creating a situation where she guns forward, and then you get to claim you have the right to shoot and kill her because your life was in danger. But your life was in danger because you stood in front of the car. Now, I'm also not against that ICE agent that did kill her. Similar to Derek Chauvin, I believe that if we want police and law enforcement to behave differently, we should work with the law, with the politicians and whatever, the people that create the laws, to create the guidelines and the operating procedures that prevent these kind of things from happening, right? There was a problem with cops chasing cars and the car chase creating more destruction and damage and loss of life than if they just let them go. So what do? They made it to where you're not allowed to chase people anymore in a lot of states. It's not everywhere. And I just feel like what you saw happen was very similar to that. There was no need to stand in front of the vehicle. There was no need to attempt to detain her at that point in time, as far as we know. And all that really needed to happen was to let her drive off and go to her home and arrest her for interfering and obstruction of justice or whatever else you wanted to get her with. And so I'm very much pro law enforcement. I'm very much conservative. I'm very much pro immigrate, the immigration policies that are being enforced. But I will never put all of that over the rights of an individual. And I think once we become comfortable with law enforcement killing individuals in the pursuit of justice in any situation in which there was an alternative, I think that's a dangerous road to go down. I think the government killing U.S. citizens should be an absolute last case scenario. So those are just my thoughts on it all. Comment if you disagree. If you think I'm absolutely insane one way or the other, let me know. I would love to see a discussion about this. Take care, everybody.